Well, here we are on the match day when City should have been at Newcastle in the FA Cup. It seems a lot longer ago than 2 weeks since City were playing that game at Old Trafford in the Manchester derby, and who knows when the next game will be. In an attempt to keep the matchday vlogs going, I've been chatting to some of the members of the Forever Blue podcast team and also to Rodney Marsh, and hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be talking to more ex-City players and City fans, maybe all around the world. Maybe you'd like to get involved. Contact me if you would. Today is no exception. So in a moment you're going to hear from the people I've just mentioned, but first of all I would like to say thank you very much to the people who sponsored me during the good times and who may well now be having difficult times themselves. So these are those people. Well, as we all, including the commercial world, goes into lockdown, I'm supporting the people who supported me. So when everything returns to normal, remember. So a very sincere thank you to those companies, and of course the very best wishes to you and yours, and hopefully this thing will blow over as quickly as possible and we'll get back to normality. So let's get on to today's matchday vlog. I spoke via the magic, of course, of the internet to Rodney Marsh at his home in Tampa and asked him how he was coping with what's going on all around us.
Yeah, in Tampa, it's a good question. I took the dog for a walk this morning, my dog Annie, and we saw 3 people in about 45 minutes. So that probably gives you an indication of what's going on.
Have you been to the shops recently? Is there stuff there that you can buy?
Well, everything but toilet rolls. I go back, my assessment of people goes back to when I was a player. And fundamentally, I just think that people are like lemmings. One person can't get a toilet roll, so the whole world has to get toilet rolls. And I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, there was a guy yesterday, apparently on American television. He had 20 giant packets of toilet rolls. Now, that's probably going to last him for the next 6 years. So well, there you go.
Do you worry about yourself, Rodney? I mean, you're in the age group that's supposedly very vulnerable.
Thanks for that, Ian.
Well, it's a serious question, isn't it?
Well, no, I'm still very fit, relatively fit. I do exercise every day. I swim every day. I eat well, and I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables in America, of course. I've cut down my alcohol content significantly. But all in all, I'm very fit, and I don't feel I'm not at all panicked. No, absolutely not.
One of the possibilities is that the season finishes with games behind closed doors. Are you in favour of that?
No, because I think now at this point, because the virus is as bad as what it is, and I think games behind closed doors is now suggesting that there's still going to be some kind of health issue. So no, because if there's health issues still surrounding games that can't be open to the public, then it shouldn't be played for any reason whatsoever.
Go along with the argument that it might cheer people up. I'm not expressing a view here. I'm just saying some people have said, well, if it's played behind closed doors, we can all watch it on TV. That it cheers us up in these times of difficulty.
Yeah, I can see obviously why that's a suggestion to cheer people up, but I think because of the seriousness and severity of what is happening, it's not only happening to this country. These aren't isolated incidents now. This is a global incident, and I think that there's an element of, for fans, people kind of say, oh, it's just a game. And I think for fans, we need to pull ourselves back to that and say it's a game. Yes, it will entertain us, but we have so much more out there to entertain us at the minute and to keep us occupied that we don't need football to suddenly start again just because it's the sole thing that does entertain us. Obviously, there's the other element of people's livelihoods, because it isn't just a game for some people, including yourself. This is your existence as well, and players and families. Exactly, precisely, and that's my point. And even the Saturday workers that might be on a 0% contract, or the people that are maybe on minimum wage, there are so many hundreds of thousands of staff that rely on this, and including media. There are freelance people out there all over the world that does rely, and not just in this country for Manchester City, but in other countries worldwide. So there is that serious side of everything as well. So it could be argued, do you restart behind closed doors to keep people's livelihoods? But because it is so serious, and because even healthy people are succumbing to this, not as many as other groups are, but there are still healthy people succumbing to this, why risk it?
Football is for the fans. You can't play football without fans. And if that's the case, and they're going to play without fans there and behind closed doors, Ian, my thing would be this: cancel it. There's no point in playing if you don't have fans watching it, because they are the lifeblood of the sport. So if it ever gets to the point where you're going to play finals, the FA Cup final, the Champions League final, in front of nobody, then dump it.
I think it would raise my spirits personally. I think I'd just enjoy watching football. I've just missed watching football. I tried to get down to watch some non-league football, and that got called off, and we've just not been able to watch anything. But I think for the whole product of the Premier League and the way it is, the fans are such a massive part of it. I think with the Euros now being delayed till next year, I think we've just got to wait until hopefully, no one knows, do they? But I'd like to get to a point where we can play the remaining fixtures with fans in there. If we can't do that, you might have to just call it and start again. I just can't see us. I don't know if I can see us finishing the season, to be honest. I don't know. They're talking about a year maybe of isolation, this type of stuff, and I just can't see football being played for a long, long time. I can just see this season being wiped off the map completely. It's a shame, because I'd love to see us win the Champions League. I think we have a massive opportunity now with Liverpool being out, but I just can't see it happening. I can see us trying to finish this league whenever it might be possible, even if it's in like 9 months. I can see us trying to finish it and get over it, and then starting again, because I think there's a lot. There's a lot of positives in actually finishing a season and just saying, right, we'll affect the season afterwards. We'll knock out a League Cup or something like that, which would be annoying for us, because I love the trips to Wembley. But I would like to see us finish the season whenever that might be. I can't see it being soon, and I don't want them to do it without the fans.
Some people will argue that seeing the games on TV lifts everybody's spirits.
Well, I don't care what other people think. I've been a general manager, I've been a coach, I've been a player, certainly been a player, and in football all my life, and in broadcasting, of course, for the last 25, 30 years. My point of view is this, Ian, is if I had to play in front of nobody, I wouldn't play. Like in the 1974 League Cup final, when I refused to take my loser's medal, everybody went, was Man City at the time, everybody went ballistic and said I was disrespecting the sport. No. Football's for winners. Football's for fans. And if Rodney Marsh can't play in front of fans, I ain't going to play.
Behind closed doors doesn't appeal to me, because obviously it means I can't go to the games. I'm sure it doesn't appeal to you either. But the primary thing here is to make sure that people are fit and well enough, to even walk about society in the right way and feel well enough. So that's of paramount importance. And obviously the football is secondary to it in that sense. But just to get the football back is important. But really, to imagine watching it behind, not watching it behind closed doors, but watching it on TV with it being played behind closed doors isn't something that excites me very much. But the thing that does excite me is knowing that the boys are going to be playing again, and we'll be able to follow it in some capacity.
I said to Adam when I spoke to him a few moments ago, it's impossible for any of us to predict this, but instinctively in your gut, do you think we'll see football again this year even?
Well, we spoke about this, didn't we, on the podcast, Ian, and we said, didn't we, that the chances of it being played now, even after the 30th of April, it was the 3rd of April, now the 30th, before September, is unlikely. I think Boris has just made us aware now that pubs and clubs are going to close. Now, obviously, Jessie's out of work. She's been out of work for the past week. We've lost income there as well. She's lost income there, shall I say, as well. And And now apparently, for the next 12 weeks, she's probably going to be out of work. So it's that kind of thing that's impacting the whole of society. But yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a nightmare at the moment, isn't it? And obviously we know football to keep you occupied. It's even worse.
So football, honestly, Ian, it's a passion of mine. Nothing I want to do more than watch the Blues and watch football, but this is way bigger.
Right, try and cheer us up then. I mean, you've been on some trips. You follow Wales all over the world. Tell us a tale of Andy Jones on his travels?
Very recently, a little trip to Madrid was one of the spectacles, not because of the fact we won, but we had a great day. It was almost like we knew this might be the end. This might be the last away day. As weird as it was at the time, we'd sort of been given this red card by UEFA as a club, and we thought this might be the last one. And I just felt like people were having a blast. And we met up with yourself and a few other people on the day. And the best bit of it was we decided to go to the game a bit late. And instead of getting the train, the tram, taxi, we actually got a guy outside the square who had a golf buggy. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on. And I hope that some of the other podcast members, particularly one in particular who you might have on later, will remember this day, because that was the funniest journey to a match I've ever had in a golf buggy, singing City songs all the way from Madrid city centre to the Santiago Bernabeu, and they just thought we were bonkers.
I just loved the last 3 years at the Carabao Cup, because that's the cup final that all my family can make it to. We can get tickets from my uncle and my dad, who used to have season tickets but gave it up when we started playing football as lads, the cousins, the younger lads. So I go with my 3 cousins, and the dads get to come for the Carabao Cup, and it's affordable. £40 a ticket, £35 travel. You're down there. That's the cost of an FA Cup final ticket, for example. So we don't go to the FA Cup final when we get there. But the Carabao Cup is the main one, and we love it, and it's a great day. And the memories that we've had for the last 3 years have been unbelievable. And it seems a real shame that they might knock that off. It might be collateral damage next season, but as long as we get football back, I don't mind where we play or what we're playing.
I did remember a story from many years ago when City used to be at Main Road, and one of my ex-boyfriends, nice lad, serious lad, a few years we were together, and he was desperate for a long sleeve shirt, and it was at the time when the club didn't sell them. They only sold short sleeve shirts in the shops. And he was, I don't know, he just set his mind on, he wanted one. So he decided to write to the club, and it was a little bit naughty because he told them that he had like an injury on his arm. That's why he wanted a long sleeve shirt. And he thought, oh, they'll be dead good, they'll just send me one, but they didn't. They actually invited him and me to the club to go and pick up this shirt and have a little tour. So we went along to Main Road, and we're going around, a very small trophy room at that point, trying to feign this, he sort of had his arm in a little sling. And they presented him with this shirt, and I'm just kind of there going, oh no, could this get any worse? But I think just the funniest part of it was that before we went, he said, you've got any makeup? Will you actually sort of draw like this sort of some kind of injury on my arm? So, a bit of lipstick, a bit of eyeshadow, I don't even know what the heck I did in the end. But they didn't ask to look at it, obviously. But just the whole situation, it just it kind of makes me feel good that the club were just so generous to even invite us in the first place, and present him with this long sleeve shirt that only the players wore at the time. So yeah, that's my silly story, sorry.
Well, it's a lovely story, and it shows how a club does care, even though you conned them a bit, you naughty girl.
It wasn't me. I just went along for the fun of it.
This is my shrine. This has got all my memorabilia on it, my pennants, my stadium model. It's got everything on it. So I thought it would be a perfect setting to connect me with the club and yourself and all the City fans out there, and Forever Blue fans as well. and just show you a tiny bit of my shrine. Now, I've not got a light in the hallway, so I've had to spook it up a bit with my lamp front room. So currently Jesse's sat in the dark watching TV with no light because the light bulb was blown in the front room, but I've got the lamp here, so I'm fine.
Just think though, in another 12 weeks, you might be able to go and buy a new light bulb.
Well, maybe, yeah. Hopefully so, yeah. I mean, the light bulb for me, with the football being back, that'd light up my life, Ian. That's the thing I want back. But yeah, hopefully, yeah. Fingers crossed that does come back soon, and we can enjoy that again, because it's something that, you know, I think we all agree is our purpose on a Saturday. And going back to what I said on the podcast the other day, for a lot of people, it's their weekly thing. It's their weekly, you know, go-to thing. And without it, psychologically, it can be pretty upsetting for a lot of people, and they can feel pretty alienated and, pardon the pun, isolated. And we don't want that. So make sure that you get it on YouTube. You're watching old games back. This is the advice I could give you. You're watching season reviews if you've got them on DVD. I'd advise you watch the 02-03 season under Keegan back. That's one of my favourite ones. Some of the football we played that season was sublime. People don't give us enough credit for how we played under Keegan. So just get your City fix however you need to get it, and just tick off the days on your calendar and make sure that you look forward to the return of the season, not so much how long it's going to be absent for.
I loved commentating on that Keegan season. I remember there was a goal that Isle Berkovic scored. I think it was against Norwich at
yes, I know the one. Yeah, I know the one.
He ran the length of the field. Oh, here goes Berkovic! What a great goal!
Amazing.
I loved it.
Amazing.
I loved it. Wish you could.
You remember Ali Benabia's arrow corners as well, Ian, the ones that he'd fly in like darts. And obviously one of my favourite goals from that season was the goal from Sean Goater chip over Bartes, where Berkovic plays it through bottom of his right sole, and it reminds you of a bit of a mover today, you know, Berkovic the silver in that move, and Goater the Aguero, that kind of thing. Make your own connections with the players that we had in the past, and look at the players we've got now. Well, next week we'll reminisce a bit more, but in the meantime, keep safe. Speak to you 100%. Soon. Nice one. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take care, and hope to see you all soon at the Etihad. Well, I know you're a big family person, Adam. You talk about your cousins and being with your family a lot. I know they matter to you, so the very best wishes to your granddad, to the rest of your family, and maybe I'll speak to you again next week, and we'll try and keep this going if everybody's willing to do it. Fingers crossed. Down with the virus. Yeah, fingers crossed we don't come down with it, and we'll be here to speak another time.
It's lovely to speak to you, and you know, to everybody out there at home. Give it about 3 or 4 days, and honestly, you will get used to it. You'll become the norm. You'll stop arguing between years, and you know, you might even learn some new things, get to like new things. You know, work on your relationships, work on your friendships, and you know, the club can look after itself, and we'll all look after ourselves, and then we'll all come back, when the season restarts. But in the meantime, keep safe, good luck to the business, and remember, it's good to be a Blue.
Oh, absolutely. The best thing in the world. Great to be a Blue. Cheers, Cheesy.
Hopefully you can talk to me again, Ian, because it'll mean I'm still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Best of health to you.
You take care, buddy.
A really big thank you once again to the 3 companies that make Forever Blue available to you for free, always. Thank you, guys, particularly right now.